Yo guys, what is up? It is Base Rudy here, back again with another video, and today I kind of want to dive into a video that I saw today on my feed. For those of you who watch my channel, I've actually mentioned this guy quite a bit. The dude's just funny. I don't agree with every single thing that he says, but he has a lot of takes that he has a good point. Yes, I'm talking about the Roach King, Asmongold. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, he's so right-wing. First of all, incorrect. He's not even right-wing. He's even said that he would have voted for Bernie Sanders in other elections.
The doctor pushed a 14-year-old to be medically independent from their parents. I wonder why. What is this?
I need to rant about something, and it might ruffle some feathers. If you live in Washington State, this is a PSA for you.
Okay.
I took my daughter to her well-child checkup. She's 14 years old.
Yeah.
The doctor kicked me out of the room. And at first I'm like, okay, maybe.
Okay, so I saw in the comments, I guess this is in Washington State, and I guess that is protocol. I guess it's once a child hits a certain age, I guess the child has, more privacy from their parents. I don't understand how a 14-year-old could have privacy. Not saying a teenager shouldn't deserve any privacy, but when it comes to medical things, medical decisions, medical visits, the parent should be present at all times, because a 14-year-old can't make decisions for themselves. Their brain's not fully developed. They don't understand everything that's going on in their body. So I have no idea why you would remove a parent from this situation. That right there is already a major red flag.
They'll talk to her about some things that might be uncomfortable to say in front of mom. Like, I can respect that.
Yeah,
the
sure.
The only thing the doctor said is there anything you need to tell me? Is there anything that you want to say? Like, kind of pressuring her to say something?
Yeah.
Come on, kid. Tell me you're transgender. Please tell me you're transgender. It's probably what this doctor is hoping that this kid says, because we've seen it. We've seen multiple cases in the last couple of years where this is the goal. They want to get kids separated from their children to make decisions behind parents' back and primarily they're talking about transgenderism. If a kid feels like they're trapped in the wrong body, okay, we'll just push mom and dad out. They're not a part of the picture anymore. We'll help you get your transition and make a medical decision that'll completely ruin their life. We've seen many cases where people transition too young, and then later down in life they end up committing suicide because they realize that the decision that they made when they were younger was dumb. It's sad. It's horrible. We need to put a stop to this. Like, who in their right mind thinks this is a good thing to do?
Yeah,
my daughter
sure.
proceeded to be like, no, I don't need to say anything to you. Bring my mom back into the room, please. Stay with me for a minute, because I know there is a time and place for that. For some kids, they do need to speak without parents in the room, and I respect that.
Okay.
That's not why I'm mad. Did you know
that
I
now that
she is 14, I no longer have access to her medical records and her documents?
Oh, let's see what he says.
What? What the hell? How can you be responsible then? That can't be legal? Yeah, how does that happen? That's insane.
They removed.
It happens because, Washington State, it's ran by Democrats. This is Democrat policy. This is the policy from the radical left. Run with delusion. A minor cannot consent to sexual activity. They can't get a tattoo without parental consent if they're under the age of 18. Can't smoke. Are not legally allowed to drink alcohol until they're 21. You can't legally drink alcohol until you're the age of 21. But yet we want to give power to minors, possibly do a sex change. Help that make sense to me, man. Seriously. I'm trying to see the other side's perspective. I can't, because I have common sense. I just can't see it. I'm sorry.
Moved her from my chart. Let that sink in for a second. She's 14.
For anybody who doesn't know, My Chart is it's kind of like a place where you can access your medical records on the internet.
Not 18. She is a minor.
And I guess that's the protocol where kids can be removed from My Chart after a certain age. I guess from what I saw in the comments, I guess it's protocol in Washington State. Still, to me, it's a complete red flag. I don't think the kid should be removed until you're the age of 18. Period. Simple.
She can make a doctor's appointment, request medication, schedule procedures without my consent, without my knowledge. They will not notify me as the parent.
Wow.
This is where it gets tricky.
Why not? This mom has insurance, and I'm sure that child is on that insurance plan. So the mom has to be involved in the child's medical procedures in some way, shape, or form.
It's my insurance. It's my money paying for her visit. My money paying for her prescriptions.
Exactly.
And my car that drives her there.
Yep.
She is a child.
Exactly what I just said.
I wasn't even allowed to have access to the forms discussing the visit that she had, the one that I was in the room for.
That's insane, man.
It is.
Yeah, that is fucking crazy. You can't even drive? Yeah, I mean, Washington State's a shit show. I mean, yeah, you gotta, like, how the fuck does something like this even...
Washington State's pretty much California at this point.
...happen? That's crazy. Trying to piss people off? Yeah, it sounds fake. No, I believe it.
Look at the chat, man. Look at the chat.
When she mentioned that she wanted something to help regulate her acne, they tried to push her to start birth control.
And this is something that I've heard about for the last couple of years, that doctors, as soon as a teenage girl is having an issue with something, oh, birth control, birth control, birth control, birth control. Birth control is always, it's the answer to everything. I guess birth control is the new magic pill to help with whatever problems they have. It's acne. I don't understand how birth control has to do with acne. What?
I was like, absolutely not. All we need is like a topical or maybe an oral pill to help clear up her face. The doctor then turned to my daughter and said, you can do your research. You have that choice. You can make an appointment to come see me behind your mom's back, and I will get that birth control for you.
What the fuck?
And my daughter's like, okay, thank you, but I don't want that.
Behind the mother's back.
What the hell?
You couldn't just say, okay, you have a skin issue. Let me get you a prescription for like a topical cream that can help clear it up, like a spot treatment. Also, if I don't have access to her records, how am I supposed to pay for her bills?
And how are you supposed to take care of her if she has an issue or a problem going on and you don't have access to knowing what that is? Then aren't you putting the kid at danger? Because if there's something that like a parent needs to know about their child's medical condition and it's not being communicated to the parent, and then the parent unwillingly or unknowingly does something to, you know, make that condition worse or do something that shouldn't happen, like, how is this even, like, this is crazy. What the fuck is going on? Birth control for 14-year-old?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, he's cooking right now with what he's saying. How are you, like, exactly, how is she supposed to pay? What if the child's like, yes, I want to cut off, this is a 14-year-old child, that's a female. What if she's like, yeah, I want to cut off my breasts, does a procedure, and then boom, they mail the bill to the house, which is supposed to be behind mom's back, and then the bill's like, oh yeah, here's the bill, we cut off your daughter's breast, here you go. What? I mean, this is just complete stupidity that we're living in right now. Oh my God.
Birth control is one of the only things that I think kids should be able to get without parental permission. Hot take, teens are just gonna have sex with each other anyway.
That's actually, whoever said that in his chat, it's actually very true. Which, it's still bad. You know, teenagers should not be having sex. You know me as a Christian, I think sex is a sacred thing. Obviously, I'm not going to jump into that tangent. It's not a good thing for society for that to be happening.
I don't think that a doctor should ever make a decision for a kid. Like, for a kid.
Agreed.
Without the parent's consent.
The parent should never be kicked out of that doctor's office. Ever. Unless, once that child is over the age of 18, if that adult does not want their parents in the doctor's office, then they have the right to not have that their parent in the doctor's office. But as long as they're under the age of 18, the parents should know every single thing that is happening with their child medically, especially if they're on the parent's insurance.
And if the thing is that there are instances, that's actually not true. There are instances where it would make sense, but the instances where it would make sense, I would say you should also, of course, take away their parental rights. Like, if basically the state and the, you know, the medical, like, people are making decisions for your kid without your consent, then how are you in any way, shape, or form qualified or competent enough to take care of the kid in the first place? It just...
Exactly. I feel like there is situations where maybe the child's being abused at home, and maybe, you know, Child Protective Services can get involved, and maybe the parents might be, you know, removed from the child's medical journey. They might not know everything. The doctors be like, yeah, we're not going to tell them anything because the child is in danger currently in the household. But clearly, this mother that we're watching right now clearly cares about her child from what it looks like and is a good parent from what we can see. It's someone that actually cares. It's clearly not abusing their child, especially if the child is kind of being creeped out by these questions that she's being asked in the doctor's office.
Just makes sense, right? So like if you have this big issue where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you could be like an abuser to your kid, why do you even have the kid in the first place?
Exactly.
So it's crazy. Immediate harm or implied consent? Yeah, exactly.
Am I supposed to pay for her copays? How am I supposed to pay for her bill for the visit or the prescriptions that she can request? This is a problem. And not every kid has a phone. How are they supposed to schedule? How are they?
A lot of parents are not letting teenagers have phones. Or maybe the phone has extreme limited functionality. I remember whenever I got my first phone, I was actually pretty young. I was probably 8, 9 years old, but it had the most limited functionality. And this is before, you know, social media blew up on phones and stuff. This is before that time. But even then, my phone had such limited functionality. I could call my mom. I could call my dad. I could call my grandparents. That was it. My phone was to be used in emergencies. If I got lost somewhere, like if I was in the store, and sometimes whenever I'd go to Walmart, my mom would let me go to, you know, to the video game section and hang out there. You know, when you would break your neck playing the kiosks, I would stay there while my mom would shop, and then she would call me or I would call her and be like, "Hey, are you done? How much more time? Whatever." So my phone had limited functionality. So lots of parents are kind of doing that again because we've seen the destructiveness of social medias. But besides that, yes, I mean, if this kid doesn't have a phone, maybe she doesn't want her child to have a phone yet, or maybe it's limited functionality, and let's say that you can only schedule appointments on an app, the child can't do that.
Are they supposed to go on a My Chart and make their appointments? This state is messed up.
That's insane, man. Like, bro, like if you have like, I can't even believe that's fucking true, right? I believe it's true, but it's like hard to imagine that something like this is exists.
And it does. He can't believe it, and honestly, neither can I. I mean, look at the title of his react. How is this real? Sadly, it's real. You might be thinking, what South Park episode are we living in right now? It feels like we've been living one for the last couple of years with this crazy nonsense that we've been dealing with. But it is happening. It really is happening. And guys, I'll go ahead and link. I'll link the rest of the video down beneath in the description if you want to watch the rest of what Asmongold is saying. I'll link it down. We will watch the whole thing. I just kind of wanted to see his take on this video at the same time while I'm reacting to this video. But yeah, Washington State, pretty much the equivalent to California. But this is the thing that I'm talking about. The 80-20 issues. This is an 80-20 issue. Most parents that care about their children, that love their kids, that are not abusing their kids, normal parents, common sense parents, want to know everything that is going on in their children's life. You can call them helicopter parents, whatever. But parents want to know what is happening in their child's life, especially with the craziness that we have in the world with social media, the power of smartphones, and the fact that we have people in the medical field that want to push for children to be able to do things behind parents' back is absolutely insane. People wonder why did Elon Musk all of a sudden become MAGA? How did he join that movement? That movement is personal to him. His child was swept underneath him, behind his back. That was personal to him. That's why. This is why Donald Trump won in the fashion that he won. This is what the left doesn't understand. This kind of issue here was a sleeper issue for a lot of Americans, and people still don't realize that, especially the left. The left still doesn't realize this was a sleeper issue for a lot of Americans. And until the left realizes this, they're going to keep losing. They're going to lose worse. They're going to keep getting clowned on until the left decides to backpedal and starts to use their brain and say, "Oh, yeah, our views aren't that popular. We need to go more moderate." They're just going to keep losing because people are sick and tired of this crap.